McDonald's serves, this is where I want you to do your own critical thinking on this, and don't immediately reject it, just let it sink in for a second. McDonald's serves 69 million people a day. How many farms have you passed where there would be enough beef lining up for slaughter for that number to match feeding 69 million people a day?
Yeah, because they kind of like advertise. They're like, yeah, we serve, and it's on their sign, we serve this many million burgers a day.
Oh, it doesn't say burgers, it says people.
People.
It literally says,
oh my God,
we serve this many people per day.
And to us, I've always said that
like, oh, they're serving the people.
Ew.
No, they're serving people.
But when you think, okay, let's think about it. There's not enough. Why have I not thought about this before?
There's not enough beef being processed. And this has been confirmed by farmers. That's 69 million people a day.
This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. And it reads, it says, thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory. All right, Shalom. I want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakak Quadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. Shalom to the hopeful elect. This article is from newswise.com. This came out April 3rd, 2025. The headline reads, it says, scientists sound alarm as dead humans pumped into U.S. food supply to fight climate change. All right. And we spoke about this when this came out, sometime, I want to say a few months back, a year or so ago. All right. But as we've been telling you, that these Edomites are a people of pure wickedness, man. All right. This devil is the epitome of wickedness, right?
Epitome.
Right? The definition of epitome, it says a representative or perfect example of a class or type. This is why we say that this man is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Right? Revelation 12 and 12. Therefore rejoice, you heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. All right? This man is the devil. All right? Nothing more, nothing less. Right? That word for devil here.
Strong's G 1228. Diabolos. Diabolos.
And the point, all right, definition 2 here, it says metaphorically applied to a man. All right? A people. All right? Applied to a man who, by opposing the cause of the Most High, may be said to act the part of the devil or to side with him. All right? There you go. No way around it. All right? Dead humans pumped into U.S. food supply. All right? As we saw in the video, dealing with McDonald's and many other so-called fast food chains. All right? What are they really feeding the people? All right? And there's more shame upon this place. All right? Let's read a little bit here. It says, scientists and industry insiders are raising the alarm after uncovering a scheme to pump, quote-unquote, dead human remains into the American food supply. It comes as experts warn about the implications of human composting. This controversial process, which involves liquidation of human remains, has sparked heated debates about its potential risk and ethical concerns. The practice, legalized in Washington state in 2019 under Bill 5001, titled, quote, concerning human remains, allows for the, quote, natural organic reduction of deceased bodies. This method was promoted as an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional burial and cremation to fight climate change. However, these human remains are now making their way into the U.S. food supply. All right, so this is the real deal. All right, more shame on this devil's glory. Okay? Job 22:5, it says, is not thy wickedness great and thy iniquities infinite? All right, we told you. And there's no limit when it comes to the wickedness of the so-called white men. All right, these Edomites, man. All right, and there's no telling how long this has been going on. All right, we live in the age of information, so as the Lord closes this chapter on Babylon, America, everything is being put out here, man. All right? This is a land of wickedness, darkness, right? Job 10:21, it says, before I go whence I shall not return, even to the land of darkness and the shadow of death. That's America. Okay? The land of wickedness and the shadow of death. Verse 22, a land of darkness as darkness itself, and as the shadow of death, without any order, where the light is as darkness. All right? Welcome to hell, man. All right? Let's get into this video here. All right? This is from thephaser.com. Putin's evidence gates pumping human remains in U.S. food supply. All right? More shameful spewing.
Americans are being fed to each other, and most have no idea it's happening. Don't take my word for it. That's the warning coming straight from Vladimir Putin, who claims the United States has become a live experiment for the global elite. A pressure cooker where populations are dehumanized, conditioned, and managed like cattle. But it gets darker. This time, it's provable. Documents, money trails, whistleblowers. And every line leads back to the same untouchable names. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. Rumors are spreading online about Putin's warning that Americans are literally being fed to each other, while most remain unaware of what's happening to the food supply. What almost nobody realizes is this: it isn't exaggeration. It's evidence-based. And as usual, Putin was right before anybody else dared to say it.
President Putin of Russia came out on the world stage and he gave a speech. In that speech, he said, I have proof, and this is all alleged. He said, I have proof that the American people are eating each other unbeknownst to them. That we are being fed each other and we have no clue about it. Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, so this is why we gotta get the fuck out of here, man. Okay? This is a wicked place. Alright? Micah 2:10, arise ye and depart, for we need salvation. Alright? Psalms 97, verse 10. And it reads, it says, ye that love the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, hate evil. Alright? This is evil. This is wicked. Right? Ye that love the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, hate evil. He preserved the souls of his saints. He delivered them out of the hand of the wicked. All right? We got to get out of here. Let's play some more.
The mainstream media won't report a word of what Putin says, but the evidence exists, and it's been hiding in plain sight. The receipts are coming up. But before the evidence, there was conditioning. Predictive programming designed to make the unthinkable feel normal.
The dystopian movie Soylent Green took place in 2022.
They're making our food out of people. Next thing, they'll be breeding us like cattle for food. You gotta tell them. You gotta tell them.
Promise, Tiger, I promise. I'll tell the exchange.
You tell everybody. Listen to me, Hatcher. You gotta tell them. Silent breed is people!
Following the programming, they began slipping horse meat into the food supply.
I'm sorry if you're enjoying your dinner, but the Food Standards Agency says the discovery of horse meat in a Findus beef lasagna is appalling, but maintains there's no immediate health risk to the public.
Then they normalized industrial waste in the food supply under a friendly name, pink slime. Now they have taken the next step, and they're pumping human remains and feces into our food and water supplies.
Selling bodies and body parts, the trial's set to begin in just months. And tonight, new grisly details of what the FBI says really happened.
Court documents, the Biological Resource Center was essentially running a chop shop for human body parts, mixing, matching, and selling them in ways we've never heard of until tonight. One FBI agent revealing what it was really like inside the Phoenix body donation facility, from buckets of heads, arms, and legs to coolers filled with severed penises when the FBI raided the building. He even spotted a smaller head sewn onto a larger torso in a, quote, Frankenstein manner. The limbs, according to that agent, with no apparent identification.
You see, so like we just brought out, this is the place of death, man. All right? Even the land of darkness in the shadow of death. Okay? This is hell on earth. There's no telling how long we've been eating, our food defiled here, man. All right? Human body parts, human waste. Okay? All types of shit is coming out, man. The Lord said we would eat our food, our bread defiled amongst the Gentiles. Right? Ezekiel 4. Okay? Going into the context, this is under the Babylonian siege when Jerusalem was taken down by the Babylonians, right? Well, this is Ezekiel 4 and 11. It says, thou shalt drink also water by measure. And it says the sixth part of hin, from time to time thou shalt drink, going into the, the rationing of food and water. All right, famines and food shortages, which are coming here. All right, which we're in the midst of right now. It says, and thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of a man. You see that? As we were just talking about in the video, all right, human feces mixed in the food, all types of shit, man. And shall bake it with dung that cometh out of a man in their sight. And the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Washah, said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I would drive them, all right? So our bread is most definitely defiled, polluted, all right?
A torso with a head apparently went for $2,400. A leg about $1,100. They even sell knees and feet alone for under $500.
It gets worse. This was not a one-off. It's part of a much wider operation. The next phase of the elite's plan to denigrate the human race.
In related news, 10 out of the 19 states in which Bill Gates owns farmland, along with at least another 10, have recently made it legal to dispose of human bodies into the municipal water supply, allowing human remains to be added into biosolid-sourced fertilizer. It's called alkaline hydrolysis and is referred to in pop culture as being very, very green. Spiritual leaders have strongly objected to alkaline hydrolysis because they say it is disrespectful to the human body, the vessel of a divine soul. And it's understandable why they say this. In alkaline hydrolysis, the human body is liquefied with lye and poured down the sewer to mix in with the community's excrement. And if that weren't bad enough, this biosludge is then collected from municipal water treatment plants and used as so-called fertilizer on factory farms. The official excuse is that it saves the government money for expensive toxic waste disposal. Meanwhile, we are all being sold food that has been grown with a toxic biosludge made up of human remains and excrement.
As Putin warns, the elite are determined to strip us of nourishing traditional meat sources and instead force-feed us on bugs, crickets, and even more disturbing alternatives, like feces and human meat. As usual, the mainstream media are on board with the elite agenda, perfecting the messaging to herd the cattle.
School of Economics.
Hold on 1 second, let me let this catch up. All right, because they're turning people into they're getting people used to eating human flesh, turning people into cannibals, This place is absolutely wicked, man,
Professor Magnus Soderlund says that eating human meat from the dead might help save the human race, and that we could overcome the taboos against eating each other by simply trying it out. And today, a new company is boasting their lab-grown artisanal salami derived from human flesh and several articles normalizing cannibalism have recently been published by the mainstream media.
Yeah, this is the man of sin.
The Wikipedia page leads with the benefits of cannibalism.
What the media aren't telling the masses? Cannibals are at risk of various diseases, including Kuru and mad cow disease, a neurological prion disease caused by cannibalistic consumption. It gets even worse when you understand the FBI uncovered a shocking scandal involving human remains, allegedly found at a Detroit business linked to McDonald's. It gets worse still when you understand that the human remains were the remains of young children. Today's sponsor is pillsforever.com. If you think Big Pharma have your best interests at heart, think again. The price of medicine in America are cured by the very same ivermectin and pembendazole available at pillsforever.com.
Bear with me.
Lincoln Foods.
Gates owns farmland in several states that grow soybeans, corn, cotton, and rice. If you're eating carrots for dinner tonight, there's a good chance it came from his farm in...
They're unknowingly consuming Bill Gates' Frankenfoods.
Gates owns farmland in several states that grow soybeans, corn, cotton, and rice. If you're eating carrots for dinner tonight, there's a good chance it came from his farm in Florida, but it's...
So let me just catch up. We almost there. All right. It's all coming out.
Gates farmland in Washington state that's drawing the most attention. NBC reports that the plot is so large, it's visible from space. It's here that potatoes are grown, and these spuds supply the fast food chain McDonald's, where they're turned into hot, salty, and perpetually popular French fries. In 2018, Inc. reported that McDonald's buys 3.4 billion pounds of potatoes per year globally, and serves over 9 million pounds of fries daily. They're the biggest potato buyers in the world, according to Taste of Home. Gates is also a vocal advocate for eco-friendly synthetic beef, placing him squarely on the outs with the Big Mac.
Why was Gates, the man who vowed to depopulate the world, so laser-focused on partnering with McDonald's on their popular French fries? For the record, we're talking about the same French fries that contain 19 toxic ingredients and more carcinogenic chemicals than a packet of cigarettes.
Which is worse, this pack of Marlboro Reds or this French fries from McDonald's? I'm a board-certified MD, and you're not going to believe what I'm about to tell you. Acrolein is a toxic substance known to be in the gaseous form of cigarette smoke, also known to cause cancer by harming your DNA metabolic pathways. You're not going to believe that this package of French fries has more acrolein in it than this package of smokes. Acrolein is a toxic substance. You must avoid it. You should not be feeding your children or yourself McDonald's French fries. These French fries contain more than 100 cigarettes full of acrolein. Why am I telling you this? Because people need to know.
With Gates, nothing is natural. Everything is toxic, synthetic, and spiritually corrosive. From lab-grown meat to genetically modified crops, chemical-laced water to engineered vaccines. Every product he touches is part of a slow march towards a world where nature is outlawed.
There you go. That's why, as we were just talking about, how everything is polluted, right? Because the food that we consume now is literally changing our DNA, right? It says high ultra processed food intake linked to lower DNA I don't know how you say that word, methylation, all right? So it says ultra processed foods alter DNA methylation patterns, silencing protective genes and activating harmful ones, creating cellular dysfunction that begins before visible health problems appear in both adults and children. Excuse me. All right, it says, let's go down a little bit. Okay. Methylation changes occur even in healthy weight individuals. Excuse me, demonstrating that genetic damage accumulates years before traditional metabolic markers like blood sugar, cholesterol, body fat show problems, right? So like I said, when you read this article, the food that we eat is literally changing the DNA in our body. All right, so we got to get out of here, man. We need salvation. We need the Lord. All right? If the Lord didn't speed these days up, no flesh would be saved. All right? There's no way that we got years and years and years left in this place, man. All right? Nobody would be alive.
Health is manufactured, and control is absolute. For decades, the elite have made it clear. They see us as cattle, not souls. And now, we're beginning to understand what that truly means.
And Jim, is this part of that investigation? Is that winding down at all yet?
It is indeed, Jeff. Take a live look behind me. This is what's left of the FBI evidence recovery team inside this car. And take a look at this vehicle. We believe this is the owner of the business just returning to take back possession of his business. More on that in a second. But take a look. Another busy day out here on Detroit's east side, just down the road from City Airport. Sources say they have removed several boxes of what is believed to be human remains. Sources say many people. This was a big operation. And get this, inside this business, a saw used to cut up bodies, it is believed. All taken away as evidence to the Wayne County Medical Examiner's office where it will be tested.
Are we just at the tip of the iceberg on this investigation, you think?
Could very well, and we're not clear on how long it's going to take to do the testing of what is believed human remains. But get this, you had a death in your family, you thought there was a burial or a cremation, and then you find out the body ended up here. Shocking, to say the least.
Certainly so. A lot of questions remain tonight, Jim. Thank you.
The push to turn us into involuntary cannibals, fed human remains without consent.
Yes, it's all coming out, man. All right, let me go to Isaiah 47. This is the end. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 47, and verse 2. It says, take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. All right. All the wickedness, all the dirt, all the corruption is being revealed. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. See? I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. All right. So again, all right, this is just another part of America's glory being brought to shame. All right, on what's really going on. All right, spiritual wickedness in high places. All right, and this is just scratching the surface, man. All these things that are coming out, the human remains and the trafficking and the Satan worship and the sorcery, the witchcraft, scandals, corruption. All right, problem after problem. Okay? The Lord is totally making this place bare before it's physically destroyed.
Isn't just grotesque, it's a calculated descent into barbarism. One meal at a time. This isn't just an American issue, it's global. Since 2015, children's teeth have been discovered in McDonald's sausages, hash browns, and pancakes across multiple Japanese cities. And in 2018, a child's tooth was found inside a sausage McMuffin. At the time, McDonald's Japan held emergency press conferences, but avoided explaining how human remains ended up in their food. But they did admit the meat was sourced from their US headquarters. Who were these children? Where did they come from? And more importantly, why isn't anybody asking the right questions? Why the silence from the media, the authorities, and the so-called watchdogs? And why are the global elite so obsessed with feeding us human remains? This isn't about accidents or supply chain errors. It's a system designed to break the human spirit by making us complicit in something unspeakable. If you're interested in researching dangerous topics, you've got to protect yourself. Did you know the world's leading VPNs have been infiltrated and compromised from the inside? Did you know the WF-controlled Proton VPN and Israel have infiltrated and compromised NordPIA, Surfshark, and countless others? If you're using these VPNs, cancel your subscription now.
Yeah, so that's the point, man. So, again, it's all coming out. Shalom.